episodes left of this final season. Brian, what can you tease? Can you say to people what kind of maybe what we'll see? Any kind of tease?
They'll see the tease, right?
Oh, they will see a tease. Yes.
I was going to say, where's the episode? I mean, where's the video?
Okay.
It's not done changing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to slow down any.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a bit more of a focus on romance. You know, we put the last season's issue to rest early on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's really emotional and satisfying. You know, I think you guys love these characters, and we felt like we had to land them in places where you were going to be okay with not getting them anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of focus.
All right, cool. All right, let's take questions from the audience. Let's go to this lady, zombie lady.
That's awesome. Thank you. I just want to say I'm very sad to see you guys go, but thank you, all of you, for taking the characters and embracing them and making them amazing and making us love you guys. Thank you. I would like to know, is there anything fan fiction or from the fans that you guys took and made a part of your characters?
I did it, yes. Fans were giving me scarves, which I took them and wore them on the show. I gave them to the costume designer, and she incorporated them in my costumes.
I got given jewelry that ended up on Pan. I think maybe here, some amazing billion cross necklace that I wore.
All right, next question.
Hi, my name is Cici Gama, and my question is for all of you. Being it's the final season, is there anything from the set, or maybe wardrobe, or maybe the tote, some of you taken home for a personal token?
I got to take my wig, so I've got my brown hair in case I ever need it, but it's kind of sad. It's kind of a sad wig.
I took Sookie's porch swing, the one that hangs in that tree opposite, the house where we didn't do a ton of scenes in them, but for me it was always a place I would come and sit, between takes and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
In my lots there's 2 dead deer feet that have been there since the beginning, and then during the Mardi Gras, well, I think it was season 4 or 5, during Mardi Gras that would have been happening in New Orleans, they suddenly got all the Mardi Gras beads around them, wrapped around these deer feet, and I managed to snag those from my lots.
And I strongly suspect they're going to end up in our house.
HBO should probably sue me because I've been stealing from them for 7 years. I would go home and forget that I have Lafayette necklace on, rings, underwear, his socks, his t-shirts, and then for some reason I just never brought it back.
Anyone else taking?
Yeah, I took my fangs.
Thanks.
I think all the vampires have got their fangs, right? Yeah. No, they wouldn't fit anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rutina, did you take anything?
I took some fangs and a couple of human clothes from human terror clothes, like those cut-off jean shorts that I wore all first season. I'm gonna put them in a little shadow box in my woman cave.
Sam, did you take anything?
Well, I have a couple of boxes of Relat's matches. That and some, my boots. I took those. Here's what I really want, you guys, and maybe you can help me. I really want the big wooden menu over Relat's, and Warner Brothers took it. I'm looking at you, Brian. I don't know why. Yeah, that's what I really want that, but they're not going to give it to me. I think they're actually archiving
A lot of the stuff.
Yeah, they're gonna archive Relots and Fantasia.
All right, next question.
Hi, thank you so much for making such a great show. You're all amazing. My question is for the cast. Was there a scene that when you first read it was particularly moving or exciting, and what was it like to record that scene?
Well, for me, it was my very first day. The scene that Nelsan and I had in the first episode. It's a great story, this great monologue, and like I said, that was my very first day on set ever. I got to work with that man right there, and Steve was directing, and that was really, really awesome. I think that turned out well.
There's a scene last year, I think, where right after Jessica had killed the fairy girls, and I remember being really scared about that and scared of going there, but I get all high on the fairy blood and I run over to Jason's. And I remember reading through that scene there, and there's one moment where she's, I'm feeling so low, like how could anyone ever love me? And I look at him and I ask him, did you ever love me? And he said, yes. And I said, what? What could you possibly love about me? And he says, I guess everything. And I remember like breaking down into tears reading that and thinking like, this is great. This is the kind of love that I think should be told, that kind of thing. And and I want to give a shout out to Ryan because he's not here, and he's just one of the most exceptional actors to work with. And just every day working with him was a pleasure, and so shooting it was as moving as it was to read it.
I think every scene I worked with Deborah and Nathan was particularly moving for me this season. It was one of the first times that I got to work with a dynamic Miss D over here, and she's a marvelous actress. And Nathan, well, y'all see his work.
I think for me, the scene last season when Terry gets killed was really powerful on the page, even in the table read. When we were just reading through it, it was very emotional for me and for everyone in the room, because we were also attached to Todd Lowe, the amazing Todd Lowe, who played Terry. And so, to then go and shoot that scene and live in the skin of Arlene at that moment, that profound moment, was just one of those magical, scary, sad, messy, beautiful days that you love to have as an actor. And holding him in my arms, it really did feel like someone was dying, and it was that character. So it was so fun for me when he got to come back this season and we got to have that scene together. Yeah.
I just, one of the things that happens in this job is you get to do stuff that sometimes parallels what's happened to you or didn't happen to you that means a lot. So this year, when I got to propose to Holly, I told my real wife, who I've been married to for almost 20 years, I said, sweetheart, that pathetic proposal that when I proposed to my real wife, it made like Woody Allen look like Sylvester Stallone. Unconfident. So I told her, I'm going to shoot this scene and let's watch it together. And you pretend like you're that person on TV. And we'll be all good. And, she bought it. Thank you.
I don't know if I actually have had many real moving scenes because Sarah Newland lives in such a weird part of the world. But I think that my final scene that I shot this season definitely, pushed me to a place. She's at her lowest. So yeah, that was a hard one for me. So we'll see.
I wasn't in any scenes.
Yes, you were.
the most moving are the most recent, but in that we haven't seen yet, and some that we've seen. But in past years, when I read the scene where Eric releases Pam, I just no, and then I started, of course, crying.
We give you tissues at their Comic-Con. You should know that.
And then, when we were at the table read, and then in rehearsal, and then when the camera was on my back, and they kept saying save it, I'm like, I can't. Yeah, that was very moving for me and Pam.
For me, I would have to say when I was shot in the head at the end of season, that was an incredibly moving scene, and I remember just being there with Anna and Nelsan. Like for me, I had a hard time. I was like, I have to keep it together because just how they were in the scene, they were so amazingly beautiful that I just thought it was great. So that's sorry.
For me, by far, the scene that I was really most moved in is one that you haven't seen yet, that I did with Carrie Preston at our bar, and it was very, just very emotional, and Carrie's such a great actress, and I don't get to work with her all that often, every once in a while, but it was great to have a scene with her that was just really just two people talking, and really we just got deep. So sorry, you haven't seen it yet, but that one is the one for me.
I got